Hi there. In this video, we're going to talk about an awesome day trip from Provo. We're talking about Bryce Canyon, one of Utah's 5 national parks. It's going to be a fun video, so stick around. We're going to get after it right now. Hey, welcome to Living in Provo, Utah. If you're new to this channel is all about what it's like to live, sleep, eat, work in the Provo, Utah area and Utah Valley area. And so today specifically, we're going to be talking about Bryce Canyon. I looked it up on Google Maps. It's about 3 hours and 26 minutes from Provo. So super close. If you guys wanted to be the first ones to know about every time I drop a new video about Provo, Utah and the surrounding areas, and make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click on that notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop another video about living in Provo, Utah. Dropping videos weekly. I'm a lifelong resident of Provo, Utah area, with the exception of 5 years in Arizona. I love Arizona too, but Provo, Utah is hometown for me, and I absolutely love it here. My name is Scott Walters, and I get calls all the time from people just like you, ready to make a move to Provo, and I absolutely love it. So, if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, reach out to me. Send me a text, shoot me an email, give me a call. I'm here to help you make a smooth move to the Provo, Utah area. But again, one of the things why I love Provo so much is there's so many outdoor activities that you can get to really quickly. Like I say, Bryce Canyon, 3.5 hours south of here. Zion's probably 4 hours south of here. Two and a half hours or so, maybe 3 hours to Arches. So just all these great national parks are close. And if you want to get up into the mountains, you're just minutes, literally just minutes up into some high alpine, beautiful mountains with high alpine mountain lakes and things of that nature. So one of the great reasons for living in Provo. Let's talk about Bryce Canyon. All right, so the first thing you probably want to know is, well, how do you get to Bryce Canyon? If you live and move to the Provo, Utah area, then you're just going to hop on the I-15 corridor. You're going to be driving south. You're going to go south all the way down to just past Beaver, Utah, which is, again, if you're going through Beaver, you have to stop at the creamery and get some cheese curds, some ice cream, cheese sandwiches. Really cool, fun place. My family loves stopping there. We don't stop every time, but my kids beg me to stop every time we're passing through Beaver. So make sure you stop there and check that out. But about 20 miles south of Beaver, roughly, give or take, is a Highway 20 that cuts across through the mountains over to US 89. Once you get to US 89, you're going to go down to Panguitch, and just past Panguitch a little ways, maybe 10 minutes, there's going to be a turnoff going over to the east. You're going to be turning off on Scenic Highway 12. That's the highway that you take to get over to Bryce Canyon. And before you even get into Bryce Canyon, you're going to start seeing the Hooters. Now, Hooters are those kind of unusual red rock formations created by time, wind, water, all that kind of stuff. So it creates some really unique formations, some freestanding formations caused by the weather. But so before you even get in the park, you're going to start seeing those hoodoos. They've got a little tunnel that goes through the mountain. That's when you're getting a lot closer to Bryce Canyon. They also have like a bike trail that goes all the way along up through there. You can take that all the way up into the park. Now, when I talk about Highway 12, they call it Scenic Byway 12 for a reason. It is a beautiful drive. If you take that and you bypass not going down south down into Bryce Canyon, you can actually take that all the way through Escalante and Boulder on into Loa, and that'll take you over to the other national park. Anyway, so that one of the things that's really cool about that drive, and the reason I remember is because as a kid, when I was in Scouts, we would go to Boulder Mountain all the time. We'd go fish and hike in those high mountain lakes. There's just hundreds of lakes up on top of that plateau that's got this just beautiful pine-covered mountain, lots of lakes. Some of my favorite memories are going to Blind Lake and Pear Lake. 6 years ago, that was the last time I was in the scouting program, this time as the leader. We took the kids back down there. We went to a reservoir or a lake called Lower Bounds. The kids had fun catching fish there. And then we came back with another group later in the summer and went back up to Blind Lake. But all that's just located right off that Highway 12. And it just goes through some of the most cool, scenery that you could imagine. It goes from like the big red cliffs and sandstone cliffs. Kind of reminds you of like that Disney movie Cars, where that's that type of terrain that you'll see there. So that's one of the cool things about Highway or Byway 12. So the other national park I was talking about that you can get to just off of the Highway 12 is the Capitol Reef National Park, and that's the one that really has all that scenery. It looks a lot like what you see in Cars Land at Disneyland or on the animated video. Anyway, let's get back to talking about Bryce Canyon. So the road that goes south into Bryce Canyon, there's just one road that goes in and out. It's about 18 miles long. As you come into Bryce Canyon, basically the city right there, on your right hand side is going to be the iconic Ruby's Inn. There's a hotel there as well as an RV park. One time my family stayed at the RV park. We had a lot of fun there. Good camping spots, nice clean restrooms to use. But the Ruby's Inn is really just a fun place for souvenirs. Like they've got just this shop, and it just seems like it goes on forever. And there's every type of souvenir that you could imagine buying there. You know, stuff that's thousands of dollars down to 50 cents. My little daughter, last time we were there, she bought one of those little cameras that clicked over and it would show different scenes of the national park. And of course that thing broke in about 5 minutes, but it didn't cost much. And then of course they had lots of rocks and things they liked looking at in that shop. They also have a restaurant there. We took in the buffet. It was just okay. It wasn't the greatest buffet, but it was probably one of the more cheaper options for food in the area. And then they have got a cute little kind of cowboy town across the street where you can walk through more rock shops, and there's an ice cream shop there. They've got look kind of like a little petting zoo type thing. We didn't go in that, and some more hotels and things like that. So that's what you're going to see when you first come into town. Just as you barely get out of town. Now from there you can actually take a shuttle down into the park. And if you don't want to worry about driving, this is a great option because it'll take you to all the different scenic drop-off points in Bryce Canyon National Park. We always like to drive just because we like the freedom of it. And it's just literally mere minutes from town and you're into Bryce Canyon National Park. Everything from that point, as you're going south, as far as looking into the amphitheater in Bryce Canyon, it's all going to be on your left-hand side, all of it. So some of the first, we always usually end up coming into the first part of the park and walking along the rim. You know, the first spot that we always come to is we kind of drive into the parking area for the Sunrise Point, and then hike out to the rim, and then we enjoy just walking back kind of north along that trail and just overlooking all the different, kind of walking towards the Fairyland Loop Trail. And there's plenty of trails there where we can actually start hiking down into the amphitheater. We didn't do it right there. We just hiked along the edge and just enjoyed getting some good pictures. And there's also along there some places really close for picnicking. So by the time we got in the park last time, it was lunchtime, and so we just enjoyed going over to the picnic tables and having a picnic there. And then we came back over to Sunrise Point, which is another beautiful spot to look at the Hooters from and enjoy just looking down in the amphitheater. After spending a couple minutes there, then we went on over to the Sunrise Point. Now, Sunrise Point is absolutely gorgeous. That's where we just not too far from there is where we walk down what they call the Wall Street Trail. And there's trails that go all down through Bryce Canyon. The Wall Street's probably the most fun that we've done. That's just a series of switchback trails that take you right down into the amphitheater. Now, it's pretty steep too. I mean, I don't know if this can explain just showing my hand motion here, but it's way down. But fortunately, they have the trails that zigzag down through there. One caution there, I'd make sure that you wear a good pair of shoes, hiking shoes. Last time we went, there were a lot of people that were just wearing some tennis shoes, and they were slipping and falling on their behinds because that trail is quite dusty and can be a little slippery. Fortunately, it wasn't wet when we were there. I imagine if it's wet, it would be quite treacherous, but it wasn't wet. It's very dusty, and so it's easy to slip and fall. They also have some areas where they've kind of reinforced the trail by building some rock walls that really match into the terrain there. And anyway, so they've made it pretty safe by making a switchback, but that trail is really cool. As you walk way down in there, you get down more towards the bottom. You got these huge ponderosa pine trees growing up down through those canyons and reaching back towards the sky. It was just an absolutely stunning setting. And then coming back out, I predicted to my wife that it would take us an hour. It took us about 30 minutes. It just really wasn't as bad as I thought. So don't let the steepness of it scare you off. Venture down in there. You will not regret it. And again, if you want to take those trails, you can bring them and hike them and come out all the other different points around Bryce Canyon. Now, you might be tempted to think that once you've been to Sunrise Point or Sunset Point that maybe you've seen all the best there is to offer at Bryce Canyon. I'm telling you, you have not. You've definitely got to venture a little further down the trail. Make sure that you go out to Inspiration Point and Bryce Point. These, you can drive to those areas. They're very short walks, and they, in my opinion, those have the absolute best vistas of the Bryce Canyon Amphitheater. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, they had plenty of trails from those areas that walk down into the amphitheater itself, and you could even come all the way back up through Wall Street from there. We didn't do that. We didn't have time. We took the time hiking down Wall Street, but you absolutely cannot forego that part of the park. It's absolutely stunning. The views are just magnificent, and you can see way off into the distance as well to outside of the park. It's just some breathtaking views. So make sure when you go there, do not skip Inspiration Point and Bryce Point. We also went over to Pariah Point. It was really cool. Didn't really look down into the Hooters as much, but just was a very just a scenic view as well. So it's Highway 63 that runs through the Bryce Canyon City and all the way through Bryce Canyon National Park. But one thing you may not expect is there's parts of the park that are outside of that main corridor, and there's one specifically that's absolutely a must. You can't miss this. This is actually the Mossy Cave Trail, and you get to this by continuing down the Scenic Byway 12 as you're heading towards the city of Escalante, just off to the right-hand side. It's actually before you get to Tropic. On the right-hand side, there'll be a little turn off of Highway 12 that you can park. You'll see the signs. It says the Mossy Oak Cave Trail, and it was stunning. It was very short too. There is actually a little cave that you can go up there, and sometimes of the year you'll see kind of water dripping off it, and that's where the moss grows from. We were there in the summer, so it was a little drier, but still a pretty easy hike up to that cave. You're hiking up along a river right through there, but I'm going to guess probably 20-minute hike at most. And then that's really the trail kind of splits. You split to the left and hike up to the cave, or you can hike to the right and come to the Mossy Oak Waterfall, which was a really beautiful waterfall. You can hike right up to it. A lot of people are walking underneath it and just hanging out right there, and walking down the river and enjoying that. And of course, you're surrounded by the Hooters and the red rocks. The Hooters are absolutely gorgeous and beautiful in that area. I would highly recommend that you get off the beaten path as far as the main part of Bryce Canyon, and make sure that you get over to the Mossy Oak Trail as well. Now, another thing to keep in mind, I talked a little bit about the Byway 12 being a beautiful scenic drive. Just a little further down the road from there, you can get to Kodachrome State Park, which has some really scenic and interesting rock formations as well. And then in Escalante, and just past Escalante, there's some other really amazing hikes and waterfalls that you can get to. So there's just so much to do in that area. But Bryce Canyon, in my opinion, probably the most beautiful of all of Utah's national parks. That's my opinion. Although Arches is pretty dang amazing too. Beautiful park. Of course, the most popular is going to be Zion's National Park, but I personally love Bryce Canyon. And it's a little bit less busy and less crowded than Zion's by a long shot, and way less crowded than Arches. Arches seems to be busy all the time. And Bryce Canyon is open year-round, so you can go there in the winter and the summer. We were there in the summer. We saw deer, we saw other animals, and just really enjoyed being there. I highly recommend you check it out. And it's only 3.5 hours from Provo. Okay, so there's certainly more to Bryce Canyon. Last time I was there, we didn't actually have time to check it all out. But there's also the Swamp Canyon area. You've got the Piracy Point, Fairview Point, Natural Bridge, the Agua Canyon, the Ponderosa Canyon, Black Birch Canyon, and Rainbow Point. Those are all down the road. The main area that I talked about, if you can see my map, is all right here. This is the main area that we spent time in, and you still have all the rest of this part of the park that you can go enjoy. So I highly recommend, if you've got you can spend a day or two in Arches or in Bryce Canyon, and then the Mossy Oak is down here on this part of the map. So, and of course they hand you this map as you pay to go into Bryce Canyon. So that, as you can see, there's a lot that you could explore. And again, they've got that bike trail that runs all the way through the park. I see a lot of cyclists that enjoy just cycling through the park. Hey, again, my name is Scott Walters, and I've been talking about Bryce Canyon, the fact that it's just so close to Provo. And if you, and I think it's the best national park in Utah, hey, make a comment down below and let me know what your favorite national park in Utah is. If it's not Bryce Canyon, let's hear what you think is the best canyon. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them. And that's the whole point of why we love living in Provo, Utah and Utah Valley, is it's so close to get to all these different activities. So again, if you find this video helpful, then I want you to like my channel, subscribe to my channel, as well as click on the notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop another video about what it's like living in Provo, Utah and the surrounding areas. I want to help you make a smooth move to this area. So if you're thinking of moving, in 2 weeks or 2 months, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to share with you any additional information to help you in your process of moving to the Provo, Utah area. Again, Scott Walters. I'll catch you on the next video.